Forsaking all.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
What does that mean? Forsake all. To give up or leave entirely. To abandon.
I like that definition. But what do you hear when you hear the phrase forsake all?
When I hear the phrase forsake all, I'm thinking about forsaking careers, yourself, church, friends, family, because sometimes you can get too tied up. All of those things are good to be involved in, but sometimes you get too tied up in focusing on those things and not paying attention to your spouse.
Be careful.
Children, too.
Ooh,
Children is a big one.
Come on.
Why does this matter in a marriage?
Ooh, so God has commanded for a husband and wife to be one flesh. If we are one flesh, if we're one person, then who should be between us? What should be between us? If God considers us to be one, and he does, then there's nothing that's more important to us than each other. One way or another, have violated our responsibility in our marriages to forsake all for our spouse. I would even go as far as to say that this is probably the single most violated vow. Everything else that we say we have problems with can be related back to this. Our problem is money. Why is the problem money? The problem with money is not money in itself. The problem is one of us wants to do something with the money that the other one don't want to do. Some might say, well, sex is our problem. Okay, yeah, but why is sex your problem? Sex is your problem because one of y'all want to do something that the other one don't. When we are forsaking all, that then gives us a safe place for each other. Instead of my view on what to do with the money being more important to me than you, I'm saying, hey, this is my view on how we should do the money. You say, hey, this is my view on how we should do the money. Then the two of us come together and find something that both of us could be happy with.
Yeah.
But
that should be.
That's forsaking all. You know what I'm saying? Forsaking all don't mean that you no longer have an opinion. It means that you consider this person above yourself. She's above everybody to me. And that includes even our kids. Some people like to put children first. Listen, I understand your love for your children. That is a very real thing and a very tough situation, a sensitive issue. But if you put them first now, when they grow into adulthood, they never garner the tools needed to properly act on their now being an adult, because it's been heaped on them since childhood. If you never give them that responsibility of earning their adulthood, then they don't respect their adulthood. We have so many adults acting like children because they've basically been told that they are an adult even as children. They are children. They don't come before my spouse. Simply, they're not supposed to because it's not healthy for them. I'm not putting her first for her sake. I'm putting her first for their sake, her own protection, that they are not considered above the spouse. I love you, and I understand where, your parental love, I get it, but you have to prioritize those things differently, because if you are continually telling your children that they are more important, you're unfortunately misguiding them. Number one, they're not going to value their spouse when they get older because they were always more important. That's a misteaching that we got to undo.
99% of us make these mistakes, not fully understanding that we're actually doing it, not fully understanding the meaning of forsake all. We're saying forsake all, but especially in the beginning of the marriage, a lot of us don't really understand that we are actually doing that to each other. We're putting our children before our spouses, our careers, and we're doing it without even thinking about it.
With all of this said, it's like, okay, how does not forsaking all, how does that impact a marriage? The title husband, the title wife, they both have meanings. They both have definitions. And as we choose our spouse, we apply those definitions to ourselves. And this is what this person becomes to me now. This person is this to me. We cannot rationalize our way out of what those definitions mean. And if you do rationalize your way out of it, then you are not forsaken all. I believe that the violation of this vow is the leading cause for divorce, simply because when we don't do it, we're putting somebody in front of our spouse. They should not be there. Or there's circumstances where circumstantially you have to tend to something else prior to attending to your spouse. Sure. Parents get sick. Kids get sick. Okay, so in these cases, yes, you have to tend to the child first. That makes perfect sense. Okay, so we're not insensibly saying, well, my husband hungry, so I'm gonna let my child sit over here with a broke leg. Okay, if we are prioritizing properly, number one, our spouse understands why at this moment they can't be the priority. All of that's done with very simple common sense. And I don't want to sound offensive, but I'm just being honest. There are so many things that we have made it so okay to put in the way of our spouse, and it is all wrong. All of it. Nothing should be in front of your spouse. Your spouse is your first responsibility other than your relationship with God.
So, if you are seeking good relationship advice,
You need to come somewhere and find those together Smiths. Thank you. Take care.
Like, comment, and subscribe.